Hi, this is John Miller, Associate Editor of IGN Xbox 360, and today we will be reviewing Burnout-Revenge. Now, as most of you know, Burnout-Revenge is a current generation title on the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox. And the first thing you're going to notice is that little has changed in terms of gameplay with the 360 version of this game. But is that a bad thing? No, not at all. Some would argue that Burnout on the current generation consoles was so fast and so beautiful that it teetered on next generation gameplay anyway. So let's get right into what works and what doesn't work for Burnout on the 360. Of course, what's made Burnout famous throughout the years is a blazing 60 frames per second frame rate. In the 360 version, it is just as fast and furious as ever. Now, Criterion spent a lot of time on updating the graphics, the car models, and the car effects. Now this year, you're going to see some car deformation. Fenders are going to fly off as you near the end of a race and you crash several times. Paint's going to be chipped, your car's going to be scratched, and sometimes you'll be lucky to make it across the finish line. So the cars and the environments have all been high-resed up for the Xbox 360, and you're going to notice a tremendous difference when you're at 720p or even 1080i, which looks surprisingly good on your high-definition set. The sound also utilizes the power of the 360. The licensed soundtrack is one of the best out there, and the effects at times can give you the chills. The crash breaker explosion in particular, this kind of hiss, boom, nuclear explosion that will rattle your cage every time. But other than that, it's the same basic Burnout-Revenge that you've come to know and love in the current generation. High resolution, digital sound, a few new crash junctions, and that's about it. Now, Criterion spent 60% of its time updating the online mode for Burnout-Revenge. New for the 360 is the Live Revenge feature and the Save and Share feature. Live Revenge is basically tracking of all your revenge rivals that you face online. After you've raced a gamer several times and you've had a few takeouts between you, EA is going to keep track of the rivalry. You're going to unlock achievements by evening the score. If you're down a takedown and you manage to crash into your opponent and spin him out, you're going to get an achievement and the score will be settled. If you tangle with an opponent enough times, your rivalry ranking will increase to become arch rival and then eventually the ultimate rival, the nemesis. Now, the Save and Share feature is a little bit different. Basically, after each single-player race, a replay will pop up. You can skip to any point in the replay and immediately record a 30-second clip, after which you can upload onto EA servers for your friends and your revenge rivals to watch. At the same time, you can download their clips, and EA will eventually host contests of the top 20 clips and crashes and takedowns out there. There are a few negative things to be noted about Burnout-Revenge. The load times, twice as long as the Xbox version, but they're only about 20 seconds long because the Xbox was blazingly fast at 10 seconds. This still ranks it as one of the better loading games on the 360, but when you put it head-to-head next to a current-gen game, you would expect the 360 to perform a little bit better. Again, it's still early in the 360's console life, and we'll be looking for that to improve later on. And again, the only other bad thing to really say about Burnout-Revenge is it is the same game at heart as the current generation version. I think 360 owners in general are a little bit tired of seeing current generation ports on their next generation system, and we all look forward to a true next generation Burnout. However, if you're going to port a current generation game to the next generation console, this is the way you do it. The high definition graphics are amazing, the digital sound is fantastic, the licensed soundtrack always rocks. And because Burnout-Revenge was so good anyway, it was never that hard to make the jump to the Xbox 360. Looking at the other racers out there, Burnout-Revenge smokes the competition. It's faster than any other racer on the console, and visually is just a treat for the eyes, with the blazing speeds and white-knuckle intensity of every race. Now, it's hard to recommend a purchase if you already own a current generation version of Burnout, but if you own the 360, you'll be hard-pressed not to pick up the slick little title from EA and Criterion.